I graduated from the University of Chicago. I was graduated from the University of Chicago with a degree in English. See? Overqualified. And I thought that made me hot shit because people said to me, you know, the University of Chicago on your resume is going to open a lot of doors. And I thought, yes, it will. Those hundreds of thousands of dollars my father spent on me are going to be worth something. And that's the attitude I had. And the first job that I got with that on my resume was in a law office in Manhattan, the legal stylings of Aaron Richard Golub, who fancied himself a man about town and a playboy and a rising Hollywood star, who had become somewhat famous in the New York circles in the 1980s, defending people like Christie Brinkley, and apparently there was some work with Donald Trump. I don't know on which side he was on, but he had made a name for himself. And he needed a secretary for his 5-story walk-up off Park Avenue in Manhattan. And I walked into his office and became that secretary. And he was going to pay me what I thought was a shitload of money, and I was really excited about it. And he seemed to be excited about me. Didn't take long in that job for me to realize that Aaron Richard Golub was a pompous ass, totally self-important, puffed up, arrogant asshole. The place was rife with what we now call toxic masculinity. He would bark orders. He would be profane. He would abuse. He was your standard tyrant. And the sponges for that abuse were me, the secretary, 2 associates, Mark Duncan and Nehemiah Glantz, and 2 other characters who occupied the home, the 5-story Madison Avenue home. One whose name was Mr. K. He was a Sikh and he wore a turban, and he was more comedic than he was professional. He was the footman, I suppose, for Mr. Golub. He did all of his dirty deeds. He was running around the city doing sort of errands for him, and would every week be fired and then brought back on a day or so later. Golub loved to shout at Mr. K. Mr. K, you know, without trying to be too PC about this, if you can imagine sort of Apu in The Simpsons, that was the sort of tone of voice that Mr. K spoke in, and Golub loved this and used to make fun of him nonstop. The other character was Mr. Chang, whose job it was to cook all of Golub's meals and also take care of the dogs. There were 2 dogs that traipsed through the house and shit on everything. And it was at that point that Golub would turn to Mr. Chang and say, "Chang, take dogs to park," which was his way of speaking Chang's language, since Chang was, of course, a Chinese immigrant and didn't speak such good English. So Golub thought that if he shouted at him in broken English, he would understand him better. "Chang, take dogs to park." "Yes, take dogs to park." My job was to fax things, make my way around a murky filing system that I never really quite got hold of, and be yelled at a lot. He would buzz me from upstairs because he worked in his 4th floor kitchen. I don't know why, that's where he worked. And he would say, "Sam, get up here. Sam, get up here right now. Sam, get up here." And I would run up the steps. And he'd say, "Well, you have the Woodward file?" "The what?" "The Woodward file. Did you bring the Woodward file?" "God damn it." "No, you didn't ask me for it." "I didn't ask you for it? You should just know. Go back down and get the Woodward file." And that was a daily occurrence that he would sort of humiliate me and show me what a loser I was and how I didn't know anything on a regular basis. This is another thing that he loved to do. He would love to have me call up places where he got bills from and tell them that he didn't owe them the money that he did. For example, I remember calling Budget Rent-A-Car in Denver, Colorado. "Tell him I didn't drive those miles. Those 475 miles, I didn't drive them. Call him up right now. You call him up right now. Call him up." And that's how he spoke. He spoke that fast with a hint of a New England accent. He was a fairly attractive guy, you know, in his mid-50s, sandy hair, well-built. And he had this imposing presence about him. And so you would just pick up the phone and you would say, dial it. "Hi, I'm calling for Aaron Richard Golub," and you had to say the whole name or else he'd yell at you. "I'm calling for Aaron Richard Golub. Yeah, he says he didn't drive these 475 miles. Yank the phone on that. "Listen here, you assholes, you motherfuckers. I'm coming right down there. I'm gonna rip off your head and shit down your neck. You take that off my bill right now, you fuckers. You got it. Okay. That's how you fucking do it." Okay, that's how you fucking do it. And this was a general kind of way things went in his office. He would, just throwing in a little detail, women who were in their late 40s would, you know, just sort of sliding out of fame and fortune in New York City, like fancy person realm, would show up at the house, and 45 minutes later they'd be leaving the house adjusting their blouse and their hair. That was the kind of life he led. Once from Los Angeles, when he was trying to make himself a Hollywood star, he called at me to yell at me to send him his black suit, FedEx. "Send it right now, Sam, right now. Get in there, FedEx, right now. I need that suit tomorrow. Get it." So this was the daily experience. He also was writing a book. And this was the Hollywood tie-in where he was going to become a huge Hollywood star, trading on his fame as a famous New York lawyer. And so one day, I got the call from upstairs. Sam, upstairs. Come upstairs right now. 4th floor. Lie down. Come upstairs. So I went upstairs. And I'm, a little bit sweating. He goes, Sam, sit down. Never asked me to sit down before. So I sat down. He said, you don't like me, do you? No, you're the best. This is the great. I know you're not going to be here for long, okay? I'm not an idiot, okay? Don't look at me. Do I look like an idiot? No. Right. You're not going to be here for long. I know that you're not going to be here for long, but understand one thing, okay? I know you're writing a book. I know you graduated from the University of Chicago. You think you're hot shit. I know that. I know you think you're going to become a big writer in big literary circles in New York City. Understand one thing. See that book over there? I'm writing a book too. It's called The Big Cut, all right? And I'm going to get that motherfucker published. And I'm going to get a movie made out of it. And I'm going to be famous. Just so you understand, Sam, okay? Just so you know who I am and who you are. And a couple weeks later, I quit. I lasted 3 months at Gollum's office. And for this motherfucking pompous ass who oozed toxic masculinity, he taught me humility.